August 8th, 1963, a date that would soon be etched into the annals of British criminal history. It was a time when the world was on the cusp of change, with the swinging 60s just beginning to take hold. But on this particular night, the air was thick with an eerie stillness, as if the universe itself was holding its breath in anticipation. 3 o'clock in the morning, the hour when most are deep in slumber, dreaming of the day ahead. But for a select few, this was the hour of reckoning. The world was silent, save for the occasional hoot of an owl or the distant rustle of leaves in the wind. Darkness shrouded the English countryside. The moon cast a pale glow over the rolling hills and meadows, creating an almost otherworldly landscape. Shadows danced and flickered, playing tricks on the eyes of anyone brave enough to be out at this hour. A chill hung in the air, the kind of cold that seeps into your bones and makes you shiver uncontrollably. It was the perfect cover for those who thrived in the shadows, those who had a plan that would shake the nation to its core. A night like any other, or so it seemed. The tranquility of the countryside belied the storm that was about to break. For in the stillness of this night, a group of men were preparing to execute a plan so audacious it would be remembered for generations. At a desolate railway track, near Mentmore, Buckinghamshire, a gang of shadows stirred. These were no ordinary men. They moved with purpose, their every action calculated and precise. They were about to embark on a mission that would make them legends. They were about to pull off the unthinkable, a heist so grand in scale it would capture the imagination of the public and the ire of the authorities. They were not mere criminals, they were masterminds, each playing a crucial role in the unfolding drama. This was no ordinary gang. They were a collection of the best and brightest in the underworld, each bringing their unique skills to the table. They were well-dressed, well-spoken, and well-prepared. They were the epitome of criminal sophistication. They were not driven by desperation or madness, no. Their motivations were far more complex. They sought not just wealth, but the thrill of the challenge, the rush of outsmarting the system. They were meticulous in their planning, leaving no stone unturned. They sought a prize of unimaginable wealth, the kind of money that could change lives, buy freedom, and secure a future. But it wasn't just about the money, it was about the audacity of the act, the sheer scale of their ambition, the target, the Royal Mail train travelling from Glasgow to London. A seemingly ordinary train, but one that carried a fortune in cash, jewels, and other valuables. It was a moving treasure trove, and they had their sights set firmly on it. Their plan was intricate, daring, and utterly audacious. It involved months of meticulous planning, countless hours of surveillance, and the coordination of a team of experts. Every detail was considered, every contingency planned for. It would become a legend, a story that would be told and retold, growing in the telling until it became the stuff of myth. The Great Train Robbery would capture the public's imagination like no other crime before it. A story told and retold in hushed tones. In pubs and parlours, around dinner tables and campfires, the tale of the Great Train Robbery would be passed down through the generations. It was a story of daring and ingenuity, of risk and reward. This is the story of the Great Train Robbery, a tale of ambition, audacity and adventure, a story that would leave an indelible mark on the pages of history. The Royal Mail train, a behemoth of steel and steam, was a symbol of tradition and trust. For decades it had been the lifeline connecting cities, towns and villages, carrying not just letters and parcels, but the hopes and dreams of a nation. Its rhythmic chugging was a familiar sound, a reassurance that all was well in the world. It carried a precious cargo, millions of pounds in used banknotes. These notes, though no longer in circulation, were destined for destruction. A routine process that had been carried out countless times before. But this time the routine was about to be shattered. A king's ransom. The gang knew this. They were not ordinary criminals, they were masterminds, each with a specific role to play. Their leader, a man of cunning and charisma, had orchestrated the plan with military precision. They had meticulously tracked the train's movements. Every stop, every delay, every nuance of its journey was noted. They knew the train's schedule better than the railway staff themselves. They studied its schedule, its crew, its vulnerabilities. The crew, unsuspecting and diligent, went about their duties unaware that they were being watched. The gang knew who would be on duty, their routines, and even their weaknesses. They were ready to pounce. Weeks of preparation had led to this moment. They had rehearsed their roles, fine-tuned their plan, and now they were poised to strike. This was no smash-and-grab job. This was a meticulously planned operation. A heist that would go down in history. Every detail had been considered, every contingency planned for. This was a symphony of planning and precision. Each member of the gang knew their part, and they moved with the grace and coordination of a well-rehearsed ballet troupe. A ballet of brutality about to unfold under the cover of darkness. The night was their ally, the shadows their cloak. As the train approached the predetermined spot, the gang readied themselves for the final act of their audacious plan. Bruce Reynolds was the mastermind behind one of the most audacious heists in British history. Born in 1931, Reynolds grew up in a post-war London that was ripe for the taking. He was a man of vision, a planner who could see the big picture and the minute details all at once. His charm and intelligence made him a natural leader, and he had a knack for bringing together the right people for the job. A charismatic career criminal with a taste for the finer things in life, Reynolds was not your average thief. He had a penchant for luxury, often seen in the finest suits and frequenting the most exclusive clubs. His lifestyle was a testament to his success in the underworld, and he was always on the lookout for the next big score. He assembled a team of specialists, each man hand-picked for his unique skills. This was not a ragtag group of petty criminals. These were professionals, each with a specific role to play. Reynolds knew that to pull off something as grand as the Great Train Robbery, he needed the best of the best. Each man was an expert in his field. There was the muscle, the brains, the driver, and the fixer. Every detail was meticulously planned, and every man knew his part. This was a well-oiled machine, and Reynolds was the conductor. There was Ronnie Biggs, a small-time crook with a knack for charm. Biggs was not the most skilled member of the crew, but his ability to talk his way out of trouble made him invaluable. He was the kind of guy who could smooth over any situation, a silver-tongued devil who could charm the birds out of the trees. Charlie Wilson, a hard man with connections, was the enforcer. Wilson was known for his toughness and his ability to get things done. He had a network of contacts that could provide anything from safe houses to clean getaway cars. If there was a problem, Wilson was the man to solve it. Roy James, the getaway driver, was another crucial member of the team. Known as the Weasel for his ability to slip through tight spots, James was a former racing driver who could handle a car like no one else. His skills behind the wheel were legendary, and he was the perfect man to ensure a quick escape. And several others, each playing a crucial role. There was the lookout, the safecracker, and the inside man. Each member of the crew was essential, and each brought something unique to the table. This was a team built for success, and they were ready to make history. They were an unlikely bunch, a mix of personalities and backgrounds that somehow fit together perfectly. They were bound together by a common goal, a shared ambition to pull off the heist of the century. It was this unity, this sense of purpose, that made them so formidable. Bound together by greed, ambition, and the thrill of the impossible, they were more than just a gang of thieves. They were a brotherhood, a team that trusted each other with their lives. The stakes were high, but the potential rewards were even higher. They knew the risks, but they also knew the glory that awaited them if they succeeded. They were about to etch their names in criminal history. The Great Train Robbery would become one of the most famous heists of all time, and Bruce Reynolds and his crew would be remembered as the masterminds behind it. This was their moment, their chance to make history, and they were ready to seize it. The plan was meticulous, every detail scrutinized, every eventuality accounted for. They would use a false signal to halt the train. A nearby bridge would be their stage. They practiced their roles, refining their timing. They procured disguises, weapons, and a hideout. They were ready. But even the best-laid plans could go wrong. And in the dead of night, fate had a way of playing its hand. Section 50 hour, the heist at Bridego Bridge. The train thundered to a halt. Confused, the driver emerged. He was met by a masked figure brandishing a light. It was a signal, but not the kind he was expecting. The gang overpowers the crew. They uncouple the high-value carriage. Bags of money are loaded onto their waiting lorry. The air crackled with tension. They were in, but the night was far from over. Section 6. The long arm of the law, the investigation. News of the robbery sent shockwaves through Britain. The audacity of the crime was staggering. Scotland Yard launched a massive manhunt. The pressure was on to catch the perpetrators. Fingerprints, witness accounts, and a trail of abandoned vehicles provided clues. The gang's meticulous planning began to unravel. The net was closing in. Section 7. Capture and escape. The aftermath. One by one, the gang members were apprehended, their loot recovered. Justice seemed served. But the story was far from over. One man was still at large. Ronnie Biggs. Biggs, with the help of accomplices, escaped from prison. He became an international fugitive. His life on the run, a saga in itself, would captivate the world. Section 8. The legend of Ronnie Biggs. A life on the run. Biggs lived a life on the lam. He taunted authorities with postcards from exotic locations. He reveled in his notoriety, becoming a folk hero to some, a villain to others. His escape and life as a fugitive became the stuff of legend, a testament to cunning, luck, and the allure of freedom. But his days on the run would eventually come to an end. Section 9, the legacy, a robbery for the ages. The Great Train Robbery sent ripples through society. It exposed security flaws and led to reforms. It inspired countless books, films, and songs. It became a cultural touchstone. The robbery, while a crime, captured the imagination. It spoke to a sense of daring and rebellion. It was a heist for the ages, a reminder that even in the most audacious of dreams, reality has a way of catching up.